It was the first film I ever produced, Mission Impossible, the very first film. And I'd been asked by many studios to go and make films for them and produce films for them, and I was waiting for the right one. And then I went to Paramount. I wanted to go make movies around the world. Since I was 4 years old, I've wanted to make films. And I had two things. I wanted to travel the world. Not just be a tourist, but go and work with people. That's why I came here to China and made Mission Impossible 3. I wanted to, we shot in Shanghai. I wanted to not just come here and shoot it, but I wanted to be with the people and work with them and share our artistic skills and our cultures. And so my life has really been dedicated to that. And Mission Impossible allows me a very large-scale kind of movie. They're very challenging to produce, very challenging to act in. I spend years preparing them, such as this last one where I spent a year and a half. I got my license in 12 days flying helicopters, but I spent a year and a half training in helicopters, and I'm always improving myself with cars and motorcycles and fight training. So all of these things that I put into these for the audience, it's something that I find to be a real privilege. Because I really take my time. I love making these movies. I really enjoy working hard. I work 7 days a week. I don't, this being on a movie set is a holiday for me. I rarely take vacations in my whole life. I'll take time, but every day I'm usually studying movies or working on movies or studying something. I like to learn. That's really what I think life is about. It's about learning new things. It's about challenging yourself. It's about always never just sitting back and taking anything for granted and enjoying life. And so it's afforded me an incredible life. The places that I grew up, I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with anything. I basically did it all myself. I didn't even have money to go to acting school. So I never went to acting school. I just studied films and started making movies, and I learned on movie sets. What I would do is I would go to every single department. The first film that I really got on, which was Taps, I went to every single department and I studied every part of the movie. I went to the camera department. I studied lenses, lighting. I was working with a great cinematographer, Oren Roisman. I studied what producers do, what writers do, what wardrobe does, what the stunt department does, props, sound. I studied every aspect of films, and that's what I kept doing. I kept challenging myself. When I broke my ankle on Mission Impossible and Fallout, I spent 10 hours a day in rehab and training. 10 hours a day, 7 days a week almost. Because I had to get back to filming in 6 weeks. And the doctor said they weren't sure whether I'd ever be able to run again, let alone in 6 weeks. And I said, I gotta film in 6 weeks. So my diet had to be perfect, my training had to be perfect. So those are the choices that you have to make. You have to decide what it is you want to accomplish with your life. Well, my whole life I've been doing things like that. I trained, I bought my first motorcycle. I started working, not in movies, but I had jobs since I was 8 years old. I've always had a job and worked. So I always earned my own money, and I bought my own motorcycle when I was a kid, and go-karts, and I did all kinds of crazy stuff. And I always wanted to jump out of airplanes, fly airplanes, race motorcycles, race cars. The studio or different people, they're like, please don't do that. We can't do that. And I'm like, I'm producing this movie. We're going to do it. And also, but, the studio, they're my friends. And I remember there's things that I do that I don't send them the film. Sometimes I just don't send it to them. I'm like, they don't need to see this. I don't want to get the phone calls of them calling me saying how terrified they are and what am I doing. I don't want to hear about it, Afterwards, we'll show them. All of them were a lot of fun. All of them were very exhausting. All of them were life-threatening. You see that camera and I free fall down into that bag. All of it is totally real. I am free falling. I'm thinking I'm trying not to go head first. That's what I'm trying not to do, because if I go head first in the bag, we're not going to finish the movie. And the moment that when I have to let go, that was a moment of it took me a second to really let go of the thing, and then I'm free falling, and when you hit the bag, it's quite a hit. So I didn't want to do that many times. And also climbing up the rope. I have to climb up that rope. That was a long climb up that rope. So it was quite exhausting. It helps. It helps because, look, I've made so many movies, so I really know, how to make it in a way to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So that's very helpful. I've been in many situations as a producer to be able to be there for people, to support them. And my job as producer is to support Chris McQuarrie, to work with him on the tone and the script, to help my crew, and to help people. I mean, really, to lead is to serve. It's producing is, I'm here serving people. I'm helping them to do their jobs. That's how I feel about it, to help them to be better and have them help me to be better. So that's what I look for when I'm producing things. It's constantly, I hire the very smartest people that I can, the most talented people for that particular film, and then when it works well, I learn something from them, and we work as a team together. To do what I do at the level that I do it, there are things that you have to really be very dedicated. So, I'm up early in the morning. I'm up 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm there before the crew gets there. And my goal in life is to entertain audiences. And also I set a challenge for myself to understand every kind of movie making. So you say that Rain Man for me. I mean, I spent 2 years working with Dustin Hoffman on that movie. 2 years. And we filmed it, and it was, we learned how to write every day. We were writing the movie as we were filming, and those things that I never take for granted. So I look at Mission Impossible, or I look at my career, I look at a movie, and I say, this is what I want the movie to be. How can I make it that way? What do I need to learn to accomplish that? How do I get to that place? And it's constantly pushing yourself to do it, and there's times where stuff isn't working, and you have to not give up and really make it work no matter what. So all of those experiences they're exceptional. Look, as I said, when you're driving a motorcycle over 100 miles an hour and I don't have any helmet on, no pads, if I go down, and I ride a lot of motorcycles in movies, but those things are always people don't realize that's very dangerous, especially I have cars coming at me, and it was very intense, but exhilarating.